Welcome to the WV Mason Coaches Report. I'm joined today by Hofstra Women's Basketball head coach Krista Kilburn-Staveski. Thanks for joining me today, Coach.
Thanks, Amanda.
Since we last talked, the Pride fell to Columbia on the road on Monday. Kind of a tough loss, but a strong first half for the Pride. What can you take away from the first half and from that game overall moving forward?
You know, it was you're never happy when you don't win a game, but you know the same emotions I had with a previous contest here against Siena wasn't the same. We battled. We were up, at half. We were coming out strong. Could have been up by 8. We had a missed layup, and then Aliana got called for a charge off of that busted 3 by Liv, as she found in the corner. We really came out strong, actually, in the third quarter. But, unfortunately, when you have a short bench and then you lose Alexis Davis in the third quarter and you lose Aliana Leon, who was really going to have a great game. I felt like she started off incredibly well in the first half of the first quarter, got quick fouls and take her out. So, a bench that short when you don't have that depth right now really is painful, and that's what happened. I mean, we really, honestly, you can say what you need to say. I thought P and everybody were trying to hold the fort down, and they were trying to do their best. But when you get quite clipped that hard, you lose Aliana and you lose Lex, and they don't play the majority of the third quarter. It was tough. It was tough to kind of battle out of that. So. Not what we wanted. We wanted to have consistency. We'd like to have had 2 back-to-back games, but if you think about the amount of minutes people like Mia Hoff has gotten here so far in this non-conference with our situation, with the injuries, all that stuff's going to pay off down the road. So it is what it is, and we learn and we get better. So that's all I can really end on that.
Mariana Collin in double figures for the second straight game at Columbia. What have you seen from her these past couple games?
Well, I was actually this morning going through a lot of their goals, reading some of the things they had said, as we almost closed this non-conference slate. And, one of her main focuses was to be really a
Mariana Collin finished in double figures for the second straight game. What have you seen from her over these past couple games?
Just really... so far this season, just very proud of her. When we sat down and talked before the non-conference slate began, we talked about her just being such an offensive threat for us. We needed that. And, she didn't start off like bang the first couple games, and she really has just gotten her rhythm and her confidence, and, really just can't say enough. I mean, she's just working on consistency. She's such a heady kid. Talk about one kid that you can coach up like crazy, and she soaks it all up, and, just really proud of where she is. I know she's got to be feeling pretty good about what she's bringing. Obviously, we care more about the wins. I know that's the kind of person she is, very unselfish, but, she's shooting, I think, close to like 46% from the field, and, numbers like 11 for 14 the other night. In our win against Iona, we need to get her the ball, and that's what I kind of felt like in the Columbia game. We definitely didn't get her the ball enough, so moving forward, that's going to be our focus.
You're in the midst now of a 10-day break from games. That should hopefully help with some of the injury situations, but how do you keep from losing momentum over that 10-day stretch without a game? I mean,
the only good thing is that everyone else is in that same boat in general. If you look across the country and, people are out for finals, it's just the way it is. And, we're at a different boat this year. 2 weeks ago, even though we're still low on numbers, not having Boogs and Micaiah in the roster yet, we weren't quite as banged up, and you're like, okay, we need to work on this, we need to work on that. So now you got a little tricky period right now. I think, we still need to recover. We need to do a little more, non-weight bearing for a couple days, and then, then really go strong, Saturday, and then close, and obviously the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday leading up to the 21st against St. Bonnie's. So, it's tricky. We met as a staff for a long time yesterday, just trying to think about what's best for us during this stretch. Getting them out when they can get healthy back and getting them playing and getting them, competing is definitely makes them more focused. But we definitely got some concerns with our injury report was enough to make you cringe. So we need to take care of that first.
You mentioned St. Bonaventure. That's your first game back from this 10-day break. Last game of the non-conference schedule. They just beat Penn State. They have a couple more games before they come here. But what have you seen so far from that team?
Well, just like I had said to you at the beginning of the year, we knew this non-conference slate was going to be tough. I mean, they're perennially a really good team. So was Iona. That was just, it's unfortunate, their start right now. You usually, when you sit down to write down these teams, I knew Columbia was going to be really good. I knew, Sacred Heart was going to be tough. You're right down the line, being a UNLV and Wake. So it was a much tougher non-conference slate than we had last year. And then we end on a team that's, like I said, has gone to the tournament. It's been, a top program. So, we'll be ready, and, it'll help us prepare, as we faced JMU. We start our conference right away. And it's interesting. We build up this hype about here comes the conference. Non-conference gets ready for the conference. It's just one thing I want my young team to still keep understanding. That conference journey then in the month of January, in December month of January, is definitely preparing. You learning your especially for sophomores already been around this once. So there's still tricks of the trade in that first go around in your conference too. So. But just, I know they're eager, I know they're ready. There's been some invaluable experience, some players that have gotten due to the numbers game, and they've been on the floor, so that's going to definitely, like I said earlier, pay off. Someone like Mia, who's played 9, close to 10 minutes a game, that'll help. When she needs to come in and rebound and do good things for us. And so, I think if you look at where we're, what's happening, how we're playing, I think Olivia is playing, very solid. She has worked not only on her 3, on her pull-up jumper, and and then you look at Aliana's numbers and what she's trying to do, and then you look how Alexis has come along. She's in every stat line. Whether it's steals, whether it's rebounds as a guard. We're about 3.4. She's shooting the ball pretty good, about 42%. We don't want to load those turnovers down a little bit, but her assist to turnover is still at least 1.2. Assist over turnovers, so at least she's in those numbers. So she has just really gained a ton of experience. And then Nay, keep getting Nay back healthy and let Nay do what she needs to do. She needs to get more shot attempts. You look how many assists she has, and then she goes to the free throw line, 50 times already. She's shooting 80% from the free throw, and then she's got close to 42% from the field. She needs to get the ball, but she does get the ball, but then she's almost like second leader in assists as a post, guard forward. So she gets the ball, but she's just so much of a team player. She'll find the open person as well, especially if she's getting doubled or tripled. So it's fun to be sitting right here and kind of knowing all the pieces that we're getting ready to add. And I think that's going to be then the next challenge is just getting everybody working together and then just what a great situation to be having though. I think if we didn't if we're this beat up and didn't have any reinforcements or mid-season trades, as you want to call it in the NBA, we might be feeling a little bit different. But the fact that we have some help on the way, it's quite a different type of feeling, So, but just proud of this group and what we've, done. Like I said, we haven't gotten all the wins that we wanted, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish. That's been our mantra all year long. We came out of the gate swinging a little bit last year and fizzled, so now we need to. Get some consistency and ride the highs and the lows, and just really find our mojo. So that's what we're looking to do.
The Pride
and happy holidays.
Pride returns to action on Thursday, December 21st, hosting St. Bonaventure at 2 p.m. at the David S. Mack Sports and Exhibition Complex. Happy holidays, and
and that game is going to be
the teddy bear toss.
The teddy bear toss. And I think everybody's wearing ugly sweaters too. Not that this is an ugly sweater, but thanks a lot to our cameraman Jim Sheehan that took us only 10 takes. Oh, is that 6 or is that 10? It's going to be the teddy bear toss and then the ugly sweater. I think all the coaches or stuff are wearing the ugly sweaters, so we're excited.
So come show your holiday cheer on December 21st at the David S. Mack Sports and Exhibition Complex. Thank you for watching the WB Mason Coaches Report with Hofstra Women's Basketball Head Coach Krista Kilburn-Stefanski.